Hey everybody, it's Lee from Lazarick Homestead. Figured I'd pop on here for a little while. I had some time. Let me just clear this out. Give some time for everybody to pop in unless they're busy. I hope everybody's busy prepping. I hope. So I just warmed up some leftover Chinese food rice from like 2 nights ago. It's the last of it. Oh, I love this one place that we get it from. I love it. Hey, Be Charming. Hey, how you doing? I know it's been a while, huh? Um, I have been busy. Just busy. Um, really busy. What have you been up to, Be Charming? We've been well, Chris has been working. He missed a day because of the snow. The hours are not there. Thank God we prepped for that because winters are so off the wall. And I think that a lot of people are just not doing as much work and needing concrete because of they have to pay for higher food and high. I don't know, but that's just, everything affects everything. So that's been on my mind. Just preparing to get through the winters, and we're already thinking ahead for next winter, and we're not even out of this one yet. Had a new roof put on the past 3 days. Wow, good for you. I haven't had to do that yet, but I think within the next 10, 15 years, we will have to. So, and I've never gone through that before because this is my first home. So any tips you could give me? I know it's hard to get people to commit to do jobs around here. It really is. They don't show up. They don't answer you back. It's crazy. And it's not just, it's for everything. But, Chris got his teeth in yesterday. He'll be doing, hey Shift, how you doing, honey? Yep, he came home. His appointment was for like 4:00. Okay, let's just say it's different. They're nice teeth. It's just different. Hey, Giggles. It's different because I've seen him without teeth for so long now. Hey, Han Solo. To me, I don't know how to explain it. I've been trying to explain it. It's like it's in your face. You know what I mean? Like when you're looking at him, it's too much. And maybe that's because he hasn't had any in there. I don't know. They're nice looking teeth though, but his lip has to get used to being over them again. So I don't know. You'll see him. Hopefully maybe we'll do a live this weekend or something. I don't know. They're nice though. They're nice. But yeah, so he's having the gag reflexes. He was sitting here while we were watching TV and we were eating, and when he went to go put him in, his eyes watered and he gagged. So it's a really bad gag reflex for him. Yeah, hopefully we'll do a live stream this weekend, Giggles. We'll I'll announce it or we'll just show up live. That's how we do it. But yeah, it's definitely different. Definitely different. But it was last night he got him in. He got a whole page of all. He's going to wait. He has the bottoms he's got to do, but those teeth are still okay. He's had all the bad ones pulled, but he still has some in the front. So he's going to wait, get used to these, wait for his insurance to renew in May because it goes from May to April. And then they'll pay for more because he's got to have those pulled first. And he wants to get used to these teeth first. He went through a lot. Because he had to have his gums opened up and the bone grinded. Some people don't have to go through that, but he had to have that done. That was painful. Yeah. So he's been through a lot. And we've just been prepping. I have boxes of spaghetti over there that I pulled out of the freezer. So I got to Mylar that up. I've been downstairs. I separated all my pasta label. I made all the labels for the bins because I had all my pasta cuts all mixed in. So I didn't know how much I had of one type of pasta. Hey, Mountaineer Mama. I heard the bottoms are a booger to get used to. That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. And yeah, so last night, while he was in that town, we have a favorite pizza place. So I had him pick up some pizza for me and the kids and some chicken bacon Alfredo for him. And he ate the whole thing. But he didn't eat them with his teeth in. He's got to get used to them. So we'll see. Hey, Steel and Tree. Going to bed. But oh, you must have been working, huh? Hope you have a good sleep. So I've just been stalking. I just got in a manual after I jumped in chat one day when Trust in God was live and we were talking about things, and I had mentioned he was mentioning can openers and things like that for the number 10 cans. I had went on and I ordered one, and it just came in yesterday. That was a while ago. And I just did an unboxing video on that, but that I didn't realize when I bought it. Hey, Joe Morgan, that it has to be screwed in to either a counter or a table or something because it's that heavy duty. It's heavy duty. Good quality. It comes with the clamp, and you can clamp it. But in order to clamp it, you have to screw them in. So I'm like, I'm not going to be drilling holes in my kitchen table. I want to drill it into something it can stay in and be in a spot that I can use it when I need it. So there's that table in the kitchen where I have my microwave and all my Instant Pots on. I might have them drill into that, one of the shelves, but I know the top of the table has a lip and then a piece of wood coming, so it wouldn't be able to clamp on. But the shelves that he built underneath, they're flat. There's no like molding strip or anything around it like a lip. So I figure put it over there, and then if we can, we'll have to see. He's got to look at it. I unboxed it while he wasn't home. Excuse me for eating. I'm hungry. What is it? Hey, Debbie. It's a number 10 can opener, manual can opener. So you can do cans that are like number 10 size or other sizes. Restaurants and stuff use them. Trust in God had mentioned it in a live stream, and I went and started looking because I didn't know about that they made them for that big. I knew that they made them like sealing ones for when you want to seal a number 10 can, but they were like $600 plus. So mine was about $50. My hands are really bad though. Like you can see right here, I get spasms out of the blue where the veins pop out so much. And they're like big. They're big. I don't know if you can see it, but they're fine today. But they're like circles, like right in here. And it's like circles of pain and swellingness. And it comes and goes all the time. So I can't even like I can do this, but I couldn't I can't always turn it, or like right there, that hurts. And the pain goes over the whole top of the hand. So and then I'm doing a video review of some freeze-dried food I bought. I listened to Heroic Prepper one day talking, and he talked about freeze-dried wholesalers.com. His said if somebody or his brother or his friend orders from there. So I found the site and I ordered some meatballs, some chicken slices, and some hamburger patties. Hey, CJ. Yeah, Han Solo, we were talking about that too. Even getting like a small table, like a corner table, and attaching it to that and leaving it like in the corner over there or something, because you can't keep undoing it and taking it apart. I don't want to do that. I want it to be somewhere and be done. So right now, I've been doing meatball. I opened the meatballs that I got, and let me tell you, they taste amazing. Amazing. They're cooked meatballs, Italian style, and they're small. They're not huge meatballs, but there's a lot in the bag. A lot in the bag. And they taste really, really good. The only thing I'm having trouble with is the rehydration. I literally took hot water out of the tap and I put them in there 45 minutes. They still were not thawed out. They were not rehydrated. Then I boiled them for a little while. They were still not thawed, rehydrated all the way through. So now I'm doing another experiment where I put them in a crock pot with sauce this morning. And I put it on high for an hour, but then I must have pulled the plug out, or my son did. I don't know if he came out and used a can opener and unplugged it and then plugged, but they were off for an hour. So they're back in there going. So they probably, I got it set for 6 hours, 7 hours. We'll see. But it's a video review that I'm doing. I didn't get paid to do it. I bought this stuff on my own, but I wanted to show people. And then this weekend, I'll probably do a review on the Hamburg patties. Hey, Outdoor Eagle. Well, have a good day, honey. Hey, Moonlight. What are you guys up to today? Oh, I can make a fist and throw a punch fine. It's when I'm typing or something. Yeah. It comes and goes. Some weeks it doesn't happen at all, and then all of a sudden it just flares up really bad. So, but I have tons of those P38s that I put on some of the cans and keep in a big box and keep stored away. I have one on my key, I have two sets of keys, so I have one on each keychain. I have plenty of other small manual can openers that I bought, but the number 10 cans are hard. You got to get a good quality can opener. And when you have bad hands, you got to think of that, because we have a lot of freeze dried food in number 10s. Luckily, the pantry size cans, most of them are the pull tabs, but the bigger ones are not. And my plan is to get more. My plan is to get more. I know sometimes if you factor it out, it may not be cost effective to buy the rice in the can already done when you can buy a 20-pound bag and do it single servings. But I'm thinking, because when I went down there to organize, a lot of my rice, even though I put it in the paper bag first, popped a seal. So that tells me either the bag wasn't good or my sealer was giving me trouble. So I took it all out. Same thing with the pasta. I put it in the paper bag first, and then I So things happen when you do it in different ways. So it's like, okay, if I just get it done in number 10 cans, I'm saving my time. I'm saving from having to go in my bin all the time and check to see if anything lost their seal and have to use that up first or reseal it. I've already went through the time of freezing it all and letting it come to room temperature and then sealing it and using my own oxygen absorbers. And if I want to do it again, I got to do another oxygen absorber, So I'm starting to kind of go towards the freeze-dried stuff a little more because it's done for me. especially this summer when I'm going to be gardening and don't have all that kind of time. Oh, chicken coop. I could, Debbie. I could. That's a good idea. I could. But I use the rest of the meatballs in this experiment that I'm doing in the sauce for the day in the crock pot. So let me tell you, they taste amazing. Amazing. It's not like I would be going and buying a crap ton all at once because I couldn't afford that. But my thought about it is when I, and I explained this in my unboxing, if you're stuck and you don't have, the stores just aren't stocked and you don't have money and you don't want, and you're just living off your canned goods of the same old all the time, every once in a while, you might want something different and a little treat like meatballs or a burger that you could cook outside on a campfire. It doesn't have to be an everyday or every week meal, but after a few months of being in a situation and eating rice and beans and, casseroles and things like that, you just want a good steak or a good burger. So I want to have that option as well. And Thrive doesn't have that option to have those burgers and stuff. That's why I'm trying them first. So far, I know the meatballs, once they are rehydrated, oh my God, they are good. They are good. They are good. I don't know if I have the paper here. Let me see. So it doesn't say how much they were on here. Let me see. Let me go find the website. Because I really like the meatballs so far, but that's all I've tried. Why is it not letting me load it up? One moment, please. I don't know what's going on with my computer. All right. So I'll share my screen and you can see. I'll just share it for a minute. Heroic Prepper told me about this. Well, he told everybody on a live stream. But it's called Freeze Dried Wholesalers. So $43.56 for the freeze-dried meatballs. Now it says 17 servings, and each serving is 5 meatballs, which is a perfect size serving for me. They taste so good. Oh, without the sauce, they taste really good, I have to say. So I figured it out. And tell me if I'm wrong. So 17 servings at 5 meatballs a servings is 85 meatballs, right? Like cornbread is sold out. I counted on my video. I took all the meatballs out in groups of 5 and I put them in a bowl. I got 10 groups of 5 plus 1 extra meatball. So that was 51 meatballs. So I don't know if they sell it by weight, but it wasn't 17 servings if it's 17 servings of 5 meatballs a serving. So I sent them an email on it through their site because they have, contact us and you fill in the thing. 2 days ago, I never got a response. So I just went through my paper here and I went to the email address that was listed on it and I just redid a new one. But Canadian Prepper was talking about it too the other day. I watched a video and he got sent a whole slew of stuff and he did a review on, and he did some chicken. And I mean, his whole thing was just full of it all. He must have got one of everything. And he was saying a lot of the rich people are buying this stuff from them. Hey, Lori's World, Shadow Dancer. Excuse me, I'm talking with my mouth open. Full. Gardner Josh. All right, Steel and Tree, bye. Let me see. I got to go back. Got to go back to the comments. Let me just go back through the comments. I got to scroll up because I was yapping. I put a big Mylar bag in a 5-gallon bucket, fill it up, and let it seal with the hot air iron. Yep, I've done that with my rice. The first time I Mylar'd anything, I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning, and I did a whole 20-pound bag of white rice in a 5-gallon Mylar bag. That's the first set of Mylar bags I bought was 5-gallon. And I put them right in the bucket, the food grade bucket. Yeah, I did that. Now I'm doing them in smaller size packets based on how much rice I do when I cook, like 2 cups or 4 cups, and I'll back seal different amounts like that. So I could just grab one and go. If I needed to get out of here, I could just grab a bunch and not have to lug a big heavy. Mom just got back from the store. I finally got stuff put away. I stayed up too late partying with friends this week. Shadow Dancer, good to see you too. It's called freeze-dry-wholesalers.com. Yeah. Let me see if I can. I should have put the link in there. Oh, hold on. One moment, please. Oh, let me go back because I have it saved to my bookmarks. That link just says it does not. Give me one moment. I don't understand why my computer is doing that. Give me one moment, please. Yeah, that link works. Okay. I'm going to put the link in there. Then I'll go back to the comments. This is the link for that place. Heroic Prepper told us about it in a live stream one day. And he said it was, I think his friend or his brother orders it. I don't remember. I have over 500 hamburgers pressed out and freeze-dried. Oh, wow. Have you eaten any that you've done already? Have you rehydrated them? I'd really like to know because that's what my next video is going to be, is opening up the hamburgers. They're uncooked. Hi, Lori. I don't have a freeze dryer, be charming. I keep thinking about it, but that would take all of our savings, and I'm not ready to do that right now. Maybe when he goes back to work. Like, his hours increase. He's not stopped working. His hours just decreased a lot. Not really any overtime anymore. Moonlight Gypsy, both horse and chicken. Yeah, you have to. We learned that. You have to let that horse manure or any kind of manure like that sit for a year to break down. I have never tried. Debbie, I never tried it either for a long time, but let me tell you, some of this freeze-dried stuff is so good. Thrive is amazing, Thrive Life. And it's more of like different ingredients, like all celery in one can, onion, so it's separate ingredients, which is great when you want to make your own meals. But the fact that it stays fresh for 25 years, some of this stuff I'll have on my shelves into my 70s, and it will still taste perfect. With everything being the way it is right now, I watched, I think about the runs to the grocery store, people lining up to go to the food banks. They're losing their benefits, their EBT benefits. Ohio's trying some pilot thing where you can only get certain foods with them now and not anything you want. Now, if other states do that, other people are going to be in the same situation. They're only going to be able to get certain things. No meats. We need our meats. We need our meats. This plant-based meat crap is so full of carbohydrates that it's going to hurt diabetics. I'm looking at these meat products, these plant-based meat products. They're loaded with carbs. A real piece of meat, like a piece of pork or a piece of steak, that don't have any carbs. It's 0 carbs. It doesn't raise my blood sugars at all. Why would I want to go to plant-based meats and have my sugars raised even higher? Then I'm not feeling well and I'm going to get sick and die. No. And I can't raise animals here. So I'm getting the freeze-dried stuff, and it's staying fresh and safe in those number 10 cans as long as you store them properly. No sudden, high temperatures and stuff like that. My basement's perfect. And I don't touch them very often because I have plenty of meat in my freezer right now. But it's there. It's that peace of mind knowing that it's there. If Chris loses his job because the economy tanks, and we have to really watch our money, and all our money has to go to the mortgage and the bills, we can still have our meat. We can still have fresh produce that has been freeze-dried. If I can't get the fertilizers that I need, or, I know I'll never have a problem with seeds because I have years worth of seeds. But things are happening. They're happening. They're happening. And now more than ever, freeze-dried is the way to go. If I really wanted to, I could go out today and buy one. But I don't want to leave our finances that scarce right now. You got to think with common sense, something this government is not using. St. Patty's, so I won't be the only one having a good time. I know. We've all missed Shadow Dancer. Lori, too. I haven't been on here because I've been busy. I've been amping it up and ramping it up. Well, Debbie, your husband may hate it, rice and beans, but let me tell you, when you're starving, you can doctor it up with all kinds of seasonings and broths and things like that. Throw chicken in there. He's going to be not caring about what it tastes like. And that's the mentality you got to get out of, man. Be charming. It's got to be tough. Nothing worse than an old lady with money to spend. So when you cooked your burgers, what do you do? Do you, like, I saw one channel, they rehydrated it in Worcestershire sauce. This package has a bunch, so I'm going to try one rehydrating it in Worcestershire sauce, some in water, see, But when shit hits the fan and you run through all your meats in the freezer and you don't have any more on your shelves, you're still going to want that months later. And having it freeze-dried, granted, I could probably buy a freeze dryer and save all this money, but right now I want to make sure until he goes back to getting crazy overtime hours, we have money put away. Everything short of strangling her. Take her debit card. I had to take Chris's debit card. He gets an allowance now. And it's worked out well over the years because he was overdrafting. I put $100 in his account for the week. So that was supposed to last Monday through Friday. And he would take it out at the ATM, and then he would go use his debit card and go buy a coffee for $1.06. So we'd get a $35 insufficient funds charge on the card. because he just took all the money out of it. And then he'd go use it. Went through that so long. Finally, I was like, you know what? Give me a debit card. And I took the debit card for a very, very long time. And now I give him a certain amount every day. I go once a month to the bank and I take out what each day is going to accumulate to. And I get it all in $10 bills. And he gets it every day. I put it out for him. And a certain amount extra on Thursdays for gas and stuff. And because he was putting us in the poorhouse and he wasn't listening and he kept doing it and now he has his debit card back, but I don't keep any money in there unless, like the other night, he went and picked up the pizzas. I transferred money over for what I thought was going to be enough for the pizzas. Yep. Because that's how we had to do it in order to keep what we have. It was bad. It's not that simple. I screamed at my sister. They control everything. That would be the end of that, Joe. You know what? Let your sister move in and take care of her. Plant-based meats. Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Dancer. It's just because it's winter. He's kept working, but we've had days like the other day, he was out of work completely because there was so much snow coming down. But I do think the economy has something to do with it. So once it starts getting ramped up in the hours again, we are already starting for the fall and winter again, putting money on the oil account, things like that. Oh, that's good, Debbie. I hope you're 19, 20 years old, because as you get older, you're not going to be able to want to go out there and especially if you get cold weather. I don't know where you are, but you got to think about all the aspects. It's not a bad idea to have some freeze-dried foods on your shelf. I'm just saying. It's just common sense. Because maybe if you break your leg and you can't go out there and hunt, or he hurts his back, or, I'm 50, so I know this stuff just flares up on me all the time. Cows eat plants, therefore I'm eating a plant-based diet. Yeah, that's partially true too, and I get that. But I've tested my sugars when I've had a steak, and my sugars don't go up. But I've seen the carbs in those packages, and no. Wow, Debbie, congratulations. We are working on that too. We're trying to pay down our mortgage. Last month I sent an extra 1,000. This month I was going to try to do that, and I may still be able to. It's just I also want to have money going into savings as well. So I don't want to not put anything on savings, and and even though there's 5 weeks this month, he's missed a lot of days for the snow, and so I'm trying to make sure and I also want to get more freeze-dried foods. Yeah, if you look at all these plant-based foods, the labels will show there's carbohydrates. And for diabetics, you're not supposed to have a lot of carbs. So they may be healthy in other ways, but they're not healthy in the way that I need it to be. Hey, Sherry. I know, I'm so jealous, Debbie. Congratulations on that, because that is like a big weight off your shoulders, I bet. He may be stubborn, but you know what? I would start getting some, just put it away. Don't even, don't make a big deal out of it. And that way you'll have it in emergency. I'm just saying, because, he's not invincible. Chris always thought he was invincible. He's 7 years younger than me. I'm 50. In April, he'll be 44. And he's strong, but he's starting to feel things. So you may not always be able to get out there and hunt. And how much is really going to be there when everybody else is out there hunting and fishing? Really, honestly, when you all have the same idea. There's only so much animals, and when you're killing them off, they're not there to mate and create more animals. It's going to die out at some point. I rehydrate with water most of the time. Doesn't take much. I can't wait to try it, Be Charming. I'm going to do a video on it. But if they come out good, I'm going to be ordering more. Like I said, they're a little pricey. But when you don't have your own freeze dryer and you have plenty of places to store it, it's a good investment, especially when Thrive Life does not sell that. And there's only so much ground meat I want to eat all the time, and seasoned chicken slices. There's only so many recipes you're gonna get food tired after a while. And if you're months and months and to try to get through these problems the economy has, or the high prices, and you're 70 years old and you can't afford things, because I just watched a video where they said Social Security is going to be exhausted in 9 years, and they're going to be putting a 24% cut on everybody that's getting it. So everybody that just got that raise of their Social Security in 9 years, they're going to be going back down to 24% less if things aren't fixed now. What does that mean for the people that are putting all their money in now, like Chris, and he goes to apply? There's not going to be anything there the way this is going. And the guy it was a Kentucky, I think, Kentucky representative, a senator from Kentucky or something. He was saying that he's been trying to reach out to the government, our president, and they will not come to talk about it. And he was saying that, what was it he was saying? Yeah, in 9 years. So what's gonna happen? They're all putting our money into, oh yeah, that this 4-something trillion package or thing that they're talking about, that Biden's talking about how it's going to save all this, and the debt relief thing, whatever. Not one penny is going to work on Social Security. He straight out had Yellen right in front of her in this meeting, and not one penny of this whole package that he's trying to get going has anything to do with making Social Security solvent. 9 years, it's going to be done, and everyone's going to get a 24% decrease in their benefits. That's a freaking wake-up call right there. Let me go to the comments. Yeah, Chris was like that too, Debbie. He did, yeah. Pretty soon there won't be any float time on the funds clearing. As soon as you spend any non-cash money, it's automatically removed. Yep. Hey, Ark Wild Man. Shadow Dancer, I stopped being a consultant. I no longer am a consultant. I'm back under Lisa Sutton. I wanted to excuse me. I wanted to streamline my life a little bit and deal less with the IRS than I have to. So I stopped being a consultant because I don't want to deal with 1099. And I was monetized on YouTube for like a month, and I stopped because I don't want to bother with that either. I just want his W-2 coming in, and that is all. Oh, okay, good, Debbie. I thought you were like, so then you know your body is changing, and you're not going to be able to get out there in another 15, 20 years and go haul a deer that you caught in the freezing cold, You'll have to chop it up out there, throw it all in some way to get it back to you, or somehow get it to you. But I don't know. I just know realistically, you're not the only one that's going to be out there hunting, and neither will your husband. Things will deplete. And so will everything in your basement. But that stuff, if you start stocking it now, little by little, you're going to have enough so that in your older years, you'll be good. If negative interest rates kick in, it will cost way more money to have checking and savings. I know. I've been listening to Pinball and all these others, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And then you're going to have a digital ID to be able to even do anything digital. And that's how they're going to slowly close in and do everything centralized, because you're going to have that digital ID. They've already done it with the tax sites. They've already done it. Like for mass.gov or something out here, you have to have a special ID, like a sign in or something. Joe, with all the banks closing, I'll never get to rob one. You have 3 times the usual water this year. Wow, that's good, because I know you guys were without water for a while. Just shoot the hunter. Oh, yeah, that'll work. I don't have enough money in the bank. I don't keep money in the bank in big amounts. Enough for the bills, and that is it. I even took the kids' money out. I left enough to keep the account open, and I put a little bit, like $5 in every couple months to keep it active. But no. Dave still thinks he's 47. That does something like pulling out a tree stump. Yes, I know, Lori. That's Chris. He had a hernia operation a couple years back, and the next week he was out there flipping tractor tires for exercise. I'm like, you can't be doing that. You're on Social Security. Well, if he likes his meat, I highly suggest going to Thrive Life and stocking up on little amounts here and there, maybe once every couple months. A can of ground beef, a can of chicken slices, chopped chicken, ground, diced chicken, once in a while, because you may need it someday. Because the canned goods that we buy at the store, they're having less and less of an expiration date on them. And that's what I've noticed. A lot of this stuff is expiring this year when you're going in today, and it expires in December. They're either pulling it from somewhere else's location that they're shutting down. Like in Portland, they shut down 2 of them, and now Target's shutting down a bunch. Or this is stuff they've had in stock and they never bothered to get out, because that stuff should be years expiration date. That's what I'm seeing around here. So, and again, things only last so long in those metal cans that are processed, like Chef Boyardee and corn and peas and soups. They're gonna go bad at some point. Those full-blown meals in a can. You're gonna need stuff that's freeze-dried to be able to stay on top of it. It's just common sense. Because anything you pressure can only has a shelf life too. And yeah, it can last a long, long time, but it will decrease in its nutritional value. Yep. You're right, Han Solo. Bye, Shift. Have fun with your grandson. $180 eggs for $60. That's not bad. Wow. Yep. I agree, Be Charming. Chris is the same way. No more Thrive Consulting. Food's too limited. Yeah. But I am glad I got what I got when I got it. Now I just don't touch it. I just don't touch it. I leave it on the shelves and I don't touch it. Joe Morgan, I agree. All of you guys. I know I haven't been on here much, but I haven't stopped thinking about, I got to get on here and get to talk to my people. But I've been just straight out doing stuff. Like right there, that box is all our tubes. I ordered 50 boxes of tubes because I was starting to figure it out. The shipping on 24 boxes was getting ridiculous, and I was having to buy more often. So I just stocked up on the tubes because I know I can use those. Those won't go bad, I do have to start my onions and everything. I haven't started those yet, so that's going to be next week's project. But I agree. I agree with you. When the kids are in school, does Mass have Mass speaking spelling tests? I don't know. I don't know what they have for tests, spelling tests. My grandmother shot her last year at 100 years old. We are tough. Yeah, but was there hundreds of people out there thinking the same way? When you get places to go hunt and you know it's because there's no more food, how many other people are going to be out there? First of all, that is a risk of getting shot by another hunter when it's that saturated in an area to go hunting. Then you're not going to be guaranteed to get anything if other people have been out there for hours shooting and collecting animals. The animals will eventually run out, and so will the meat for everybody. I met my future, even though she's really a cool person. My future wife. Oh, cool. Everybody wants to know, are you getting married, Joe? Well, I have to say, that is awesome, Debbie. I am 100 years old. Wow. But I know my body couldn't do that at 100 years old. I can't even carry a case of water very far, like literally just to lift it off the floor onto a coffee table. I don't have that. And I won't at that age. I mean, there's nothing we can possibly do to prepare for every single thing, and I get that. But I want my life to be a little bit comfortable with what I'm used to for as long as I can get it. Oh, cigarette tubes. The tubes for the cigarette, Shadow Dancer. I just bought 50 boxes. And when I started doing this a few years ago, because we roll our own, the boxes of tubes were $1.99 just a couple years ago. They are $3.99 a box now. $3.99. And the shipping is about $15. So everything is going up. Oh wow, she lived till 103. And I started thinking, okay, when I get older, okay, what types of food am I going to be eating more? Am I going to be eating steaks? Probably not. Because my teeth are going to be older. I may not have any. Am I going to be able to go out there and throw a steak on the grill? No. So I'm focusing on all types of meats in the freeze dried. I'm focusing on the meatballs, the burger patties, ground stuff, things that are already chopped and easily, be able to eat. I would say she lived off the land. That's a strong woman right there. That's a good question, Laurie. Be charming. How much more in electricity does it take to run? Because you're running these things for hours. You have good genes, Debbie. 96, 103. Sherry, I don't think old is horrible. I'm thinking reality-wise. Which a lot of people don't think ahead. I know what my limitations are now. I can't drive at night, even with my glasses on. I nearly killed me in Sierra one day. There's no way. So I know I'm strong enough of a woman to realize, okay, I have no business being out there on the roads when my reflexes aren't 100% like they used to be. Then you got all these people that don't think that way. They don't care about their limitations. They're going to put themselves out there anyway and hurt somebody. I know what my limitations are. And if you're not mature enough to admit that, then you're not a real person that you want to get. That's not somebody I'd want to hang out with. It's not. It's just not. And I know from learning so much from everybody on here, the things I hear from everybody on here, it opens my eyes up. I'm not one of those people that are afraid to admit I didn't know that, and I'm glad I learned it. I don't think old is horrible. I just know it's restricting. I watched my meme die. She had Parkinson's. Her body started failing her. It happens to all of us. It would be asinine to think that we're above all that. Ocean Ran, hi. We've been talking, yeah, Be Charming, yeah. The bills have gone up. Ours went up to 33 cents a kilowatt. It was at 11 cents before. A couple months before, it was 11 cents a kilowatt. Now it's 33 cents a kilowatt. It has gone up. Me and Chris have been thinking about not even opening the pool this year. And if we do, because nobody swam in it hardly at all last year. The kids were so involved with being in the house, and they never went out. A few times. That was it. Just a handful. For all the amount of work we did cleaning it, trying to battle that algae, we may still open it, but we were running that pump 24/7 for periods of time because of trying to clean it and get it back to normal. So we'd hate for that to happen again. So we may open it, but not run the pump as often. Plus, everything that's coming down, the water that's coming down from the rain is awful. My dad even mentioned it. He said everything over the years, the last year was like one of the worst for his outside growing. He does about 500 tomato plants because he sells a lot. And everything that was outside, he had started it in the greenhouse and transplanted it outside. Everything outside ended up rotting much quicker, dying out much quicker. The fruit wasn't the good quality fruit he was used to compared to what he grew in the greenhouse. And he pumps his water from his well into there to water. So he noticed a big difference in the quality of the fruits and veggies he was growing this past year. So, and I noticed it too. A lot of my tomatoes were rotting on the outside, but the ones in the greenhouse were beautiful. Mountain near Mama. Right, Shadow Dancer? Yes. These people that think they're going to go out and hunt for their food in a shit situation, especially when they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they're going to be the ones that could accidentally get shot out there by another inexperienced hunter because everybody's going to be out there trying to get an animal to eat. That's going to bring all these people that have no hunting experience out there because they're going to be desperate. Another thing to worry about when I never trust a word. I know. My mind thinks I'm 17. My body laughs and seizes up. Yeah, Sherry. I just happened to, oh my God, it's already 2:30. Sierra's on his way home. She's already coming in. I just happened to think about that stuff and realize the world ain't going to stop because I'm 74 years old. We're not going to have our Social Security. I already know that. But I'm still going to be hungry. And if I'm not here, it's there for my children, you know? Sierra's home.
Did you see the cops go by?
Yeah. What is it for?
I don't know.
But yeah, because your bus came the other way. We never have cops go down this road, so it had to have been an accident because nobody does anything bad around here. We have a lot of chemtrails around here. And if you listen to Danny from Deep South Homestead, he's talked to people that he knows in those fields that are saying they are putting stuff in the air. They are putting it in our atmosphere. Yeah, Mountaineer. I know my limitation. I'm learning them all the time. I am not 25 years old where I could be on the dance floor for 10 hours a night hanging out. I can't even go outside in the dark and drive. I can't, even with my glasses on, I can't do it. It's not safe. It's not safe. for me and whoever else is on the road around me. I've realized the things that are changing in my body. I'm like looking at you guys right now. I'm having the black spots going across my eyes. And it's only gotten worse in the last couple months. There's Jack. Say hi to everybody. We got Mountaineer Mama, Joe, B, Shadow. We got Debbie, Ocean Man. I haven't done a live in a long time. It's been weeks. I know, Be Charming. That's another thing I'm experiencing now too. But I want to focus on the things that are already pre-cut for me, like the diced chicken. Those are smaller pieces that I would be able to handle in a casserole with rice and cheese. So those are the things I'm focusing on. But I also, with this freeze-dried company, right now, if we were stuck like those people in California that got all that snow, we could go out in the backyard and grill some burgers. Because I'd have freeze-dried burgers. Because my electricity probably wouldn't work. And I could take some of those burgers, rehydrate them, and we could have a burger. I'm so grateful I have that fireplace. I say it all the time. Because I could bake some bread in there. I could bake a cake in there. I could make anything in that fireplace. And that's one important thing. Keep the fireplace's maintenance properly. Never drag your feet on that. My son has a fireplace in his house, but it needs work on the inside. So he's never started it since he bought this house. I said, you need to go and pay to have somebody fix that fireplace. He lives out in the wood on a dead-end street. He lost power for like a whole weekend because his furnace went. He had to replace his furnace this winter, and it went during the winter when it was cold. Luckily, he had space heaters, and he shut off some of the rooms, and he had a house to go to by him. They have a lake house. But I'm thinking, you need to get that fireplace fixed. Pay for it, get it done, and you have an alternate. He has so much wood in his backyard that he could cut down. People don't want to think about it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the time. I keep saying, and I firmly believe we need to go back to learning the ways of the old people that lived back in the older days and be able to survive that way. Because when all this comes crashing down and there are still people alive, they're starting from nothing. Their skills are going to be what get them by. Yeah, Shadow Dancer. The whole thing that got that senator that was on the board, that was on the whole panel committee, they were talking, and Yellen was there. 9 years is right now with the way our economy is and what the president's doing. 9 years is what they have left on Social Security payments. And after 9 years, they're going to be cutting them 24% for each person. Yep. Hey, Chris Pia.
Oh, I'm sorry, but pizza pepperoni is good.
So my next chore is to go through my stock and get those easy open pop top cans and freeze dry what's in them. Oh, that's a good idea, Be Charming. Yeah, that is perfect. Oh, Be Charming. Sierra, come here.
What?
That's the style. I know. I remember when I was in the 80s and it was the white stonewash jeans. They had a little rip here and there, but nothing like that, right? But that's the style.
No, I have.
And we found a place here that they're $25 a pair. So those are actually cheaper than some of the other ones that you can get that are way more expensive. Plus, she likes the high-waisted, so they come up halfway up her, like right up to her boobs. I love that. It's covering more.
It's not all the way up there.
Almost there. So what are y'all doing for dinner? I got the meatballs going for that. Hopefully it comes out. And then I have some hot dogs that I took out yesterday or the day before. I got to use. I had them in the freezer, so we'll do that. And it should be a mishmash day of a little bit of everything. Leftover pizza, although she's eating her leftover chicken tenders. But I have been really, really. Oh, another thing that I thought of. Okay, I have plenty of oil lamps. I have plenty of oil lamp fuel, but it's a fire hazard in my mind, especially with the cat, and things could get tipped over. So I started thinking about wall sconces. Going to find at the thrift stores different wall sconces that hold candles and having them strategically placed in these rooms so that it casts a light down. So that when my batteries die out and I run through all my battery stash, we have candles that we don't have to carry around. Yeah, look at those.
And sometimes I think I have a pair that goes all the way up the front and the back, and one that has like big holes.
Sconces, yeah.
What's a sconce? Is
They
it
are
like a
things
handle?
that back in the day when what was that? Home interiors. People would have home shows, yeah. And they would have like a picture frame, and then they'd have two things on each side that held candles. I think that would be a good idea. So you're not carrying them from room to room and risking fires. They're up out of the way of the cat, so nothing can get knocked down. And it would cast a good light so that you could have,
Such a buff.
and you save that for after you've run through all of the battery operated stuff. But I went to the Salvation Army last weekend or the weekend before, and there was none there. And I used to see them all the time.
Wow.
I also invested in a couple of those speckled pots that you use out on campfires. I got a couple of those.
Yes.
I bought some smaller ones that I could put speckled ones. They were like $2. So I could cook in the fireplace with them. So I've been thinking about this stuff. And what's the worst that's going to happen? I kick off and go and die, and my kids have it, or they have to get rid of it. Or they can pass it on. Just like
What?
cast iron, they can pass it on.
What?
How was your day?
It was fine.
Yeah,
Tiring.
tired.
Because, okay, so I actually woke up at what is it?
You really want to go into that? You really want to go into the debate on when you got up?
I got up at 6:47,
Yeah. Okay.
and you were asleep, and it was like 6:47.
Yeah. I get up at 5 every morning, and I sit here and I wake up. I have my medications, get myself going because my system gets through with those medications, and so I wake her up about 6 o'clock or quarter of, because I will start waking her up, but she will stay in bed till 6:30. So I've been figuring out which time to wake her up. If I start at 5:30, start calling her name, she rouses up
which is annoying.
and she gets pissed off at me because I'll go in there. I'm like, Sierra, it's time to wake up. So I'm getting her out of that deep sleep. Then a few minutes later, I come back. I'm like, Sierra, and then a few minutes, Sierra,
Annoying.
and she don't literally get up until about 6:20. Her bus comes at 7:13. Why is my phone ringing? But it didn't light up. My phone's dying. So it's a good hour of getting her roused to get up. And you hear the attitude in her voice. Some days she slams the door, yet she does not want the responsibility of getting up to her own alarm, because as I'm waking her up, her alarm is going off and off and off, and it keeps going, and she sleeps right through it.
Eventually, I do wake up to it though.
Okay, So
the
when I
fourth-
tell her I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing, she's like, no, I need you to wake me up.
my 4
But I got to
o'clock
deal
one-
with the attitude.
my 4 o'clock one. I wake up to.
Okay. The problem is you don't get onto the bus till a little after 7. So if you don't stay awake at 4, what happens? But I'm the aggravation.
You are, but I still need you to do it. But it's annoying.
I know, Ocean Ran. I know. I almost burnt the house down with the green beans. I know. That's because my schedule got tossed around because I had to go and bring her somewhere out of the
Did you tell
blue.
them what Emmett did with the yogurt?
No. Get oil lamp sconces. They give off much more light. Yeah, that's another thing I want to look for, but they're very expensive. So I'm trying to find things at the thrift store.
We should tell them what Emmett did with the yogurt.
Oh, that's a good idea, Shadow Dancer. Although, yeah, that's a good idea. So she wants me to tell you what happened with Emmett, my grandson. My daughter-in-law posted a video of him. She gave him a bowl of yogurt with a spoon. She came back in, and he's in his pajamas, his onesie, and he had taken the yogurt and smeared it all over the window behind him.
And all over the table.
All over the
dinosaurs.
table.
And get this, on the dog.
The dog, Zuko, his whole head was covered with yogurt. And he's trying to blame it on his toy dinosaurs that were sitting on the table around the bowl of yogurt.
Also covered in yogurt.
All covered in yogurt, yeah. And the bouncy seat with his sister was there, and it was all over the bouncy seat legs. Yeah. It was so funny, and he's arguing, he's saying, no, dinosaur did it. Oh my God, it was hilarious. Because I had that same situation with Sierra and Todd one day when they were little like that, but they did it with a bottle of hand lotion, and they had it.
We also did it at Dad's with butt cream.
With butt cream. So the one I had, the situation was they were in the room together, quiet, over in the corner by the bed where we had an end table, and there must have been a bottle of lotion there, and they got it down, and they're smearing it on each other's whole face and body, and they were laughing as each time Sierra would just drape it all down his face. They would giggle, and then he would do it to her, and they would giggle. So I came over, and I'm like, oh, it was on the lamps, the lamp cord, the walls, the molding. They were covered in lotion. Yeah. And then when Sierra was, with her dad one time, it was the butt cream for the rash cream, and her eyes were burning because he had to clean it out of her
In
eyes.
the closet.
Oh,
I remember it too because we had a closet and then we had a drawer set kind of thing. And the butt cream was, I think, like around the top drawer. And I think I got Todd to do it.
of course you did. Yeah, because that's how you are. Emmett is 7th birthday. Oh wow, our Emmett is 2 right now. Good question, Lori's World. This Freeze Dry Wholesalers has chicken thighs and steaks and fajita stuff, and they even have lobster and shrimp and scallops. So I am going to try. I know the meatballs taste amazing. So I am going to try little bits of stuff. They don't always have, they have ribeyes, sirloin steaks. So I'm going to try them little by little and see what I want to stock up on, because they don't always have them in stock. A lot of it is like you got to really keep back and checking.
I'm so glad it's Friday. I keep forgetting and remembering that it's Friday. I don't have to go to school tomorrow.
There's a channel on here that let me see if I can find his channel. His freeze drying channel is awesome. He does all the meats that you're all wondering about. All the foods that you're wondering about. Let me see if I can find it. Live Life Simple. He's all about freeze drying. He actually was part of the collab that the Inquisitive Farm Wife did. Here's his channel, but he does all the meats and he does it right in front of you, and then rehydrates everything and cooks it in front of you. He did steaks different ways. He did it sous vide. He did it grilled. He did it, and then he freeze dried it, and then he rehydrated it different ways, and told you what it tastes like. It's great. I was watching it. He did pizzas. He's done everything. He even did tuna. I know, Lori. I've been thinking about it, but it's what I have in savings, and I don't want to spend it all.
On what?
Because a small and a medium one, you can use the same outlet, but anything over a medium, you have to upgrade your electrical for it. And I'd have to definitely unplug some of my freezers to common sense wise. Too much electricity running with my 3 huge freezers, and then my little freezer and my extra fridge and my other fridge. And so we would have to freeze dry a lot of what we have and shut down the freezers. But that would be what I'd want to do. But I don't want to take all our savings. That's what we have left. So I could do a payment plan on it until it's paid off, but I'd rather just pay for it up front and get it done. So it's something on my mind too. Because in my mind, Sierra McLeod, in my mind, we may get over this whole issue with the looming war and the president's crap, and things may go well for a few years, but guess what? We're going to get a new president after a certain amount of years. And what happens? What happens when you get a new president? And we're seeing what happens. Yeah. The only thing too is at some point, if they did attack and our grid went down, because that's going to be the first thing they do, our freeze dryers would not be working. So you need to get it and stock now. And then it's not just the freeze dryer. It's all these little gadgets that you need, like the covers and the stacking trays. And because if you're going to refreeze it first before you put it in the freeze dryer, you need to keep them away, on not sitting on top of each other. So you got to get those little pegs. And then you need a special can opener for freeze dried foods, unless you're doing it all in Mylar. All that costs money. It's not, just $4,000 for the freeze dryer, but because you got to have everything you need to do it all. So it's a big investment. It's a big investment. I want one, dude. I want one. I apply every month on Harvest Right site for the giveaway they do. I do it every month. You know, we could go through a great economy after this guy gets out. We could have a president that just does everything right, and all the people. It's not even just the president. He only has so much power. It's everybody that works in that environment. They're doing this. They all have a hand in it. And as soon as one thing gets fixed, the next person comes in and just totally upends everything they've done. We saw that with all those executive orders. He came in on that first couple days and he undid everything that was going on. And I don't know if it was good stuff that that was going on, because I wasn't paying attention to politics at that time. But I do know what I've witnessed and I'm living through since he started doing all that. And who knows what kind of president we're going to get after that. It could be worse. It could be better. But his term or her term will end, and then there will be another one coming in. And if they don't think along the same lines, we're all going to be screwed again. I know Tractor Supply had a whole big things up for Harvest Right. Food for Patriots does it as well. They have their own freeze dryer. I watch Homestead Corner, Ginny. She's here in Maine, up in Maine. And I've emailed her and asked her about how, because she got a freeze dryer from them to review. It is more expensive than Harvest Right. But she's a Thrive consultant. She buys Thrive and she has her own freeze dryer. And she got that freeze dryer to review, and she did a review on it. And I emailed her, asked her all kinds of questions about it, and she emailed me right back and answered all my questions and stuff like that. So Food for Patriots has their own freeze dryer. You might want to check it out.
Mom.
The only other one I know, like I said, is the Harvest Right and the Food for Patriots. They just came out with one not too long ago. And I would have not have known except for the commercials I'm now seeing after I watched a commercial and it had Ginny on it from Homestead Corner. So I immediately watched the whole thing and I emailed her about it. And she's an awesome girl. She's an awesome lady. She answered everything I wanted to know. And if you watch her channel like I do, you know she does different things different ways. She doesn't do everything all one way for her food storage. Because if we had to bug out of here fast and go somewhere like to my parents or something, we have bins of all freeze-dried and Mylar. So it's light. I could lift it and go. To load up jars of food, you're going to risk breaking them while you're shoving them into a tote or a bag or wherever and carrying them, or they could get jostled around in the truck or the car and they get break. So I never just do one way. But the Inquisitive Farm Wife just did a big giveaway through the whole month of February, and Harvest Right donated a freeze dryer, and they gave it away. Did you see B. Mitch? B. Mitch won a generator from Pinball the other night. I'm hoping it's the same B. Mitch that I know, because that was the YouTube name that came up, B. Mitch, and she was there, so she won it. I was so happy to see that. I thought I had her phone number, but when I texted her, I never got a response back, so she could have, I may not have had her number. I thought it was her number. Oh, wow. Tootsie Rolls are like steel. Yeah. I've been thinking about it too. And if things go well this year, I will probably buy one. But I have driver's ed to get through. I want to stock up my money for the winter for oil, for my oil account. I want to get we want to get a load of logs delivered. There's a company out here that delivers logs to you. So for $800, you would get a load of logs delivered, and Chris would cut them up and let them sit to season, because we don't need wood for another year or two with all the wood we have right now. So now would be the time to have the logs delivered and let them over the summer. It'll keep us home, out from spending money, and we have to be here working on the greenhouse and garden anyway and our plants. So he could spend a few hours a day cutting up all the wood, letting it sit and season, and then we'll have wood and it's much cheaper, because for $800 you get about 8 cords or more, 8 or 9 cords of wood out of all that. And right here, where we are, a cord of wood delivered, already cut, is $300, sometimes $350. So it makes sense in the long run to have it delivered. We'll cut it ourselves and let it sit over time and season, so that we can rotate through the wood we already have. So that's what we're going to be doing this year. Because remember, we only use it for our fireplace. We don't heat with it. So it does last us a long time. Who's doing another giveaway? Oh, Pinball? I watched his videos. I maybe have one more to watch from today. Shadow Dancer. I like Three Musketeers. I would love to see what those taste like, freeze dried. But I don't eat much candy. Like, literally, I still have, okay, this has been sitting in here for about 2-3 months now. And then I have these that I bought about a month ago, sugar-free. I had 4 or 5 pieces. Those, I got these in Ollie's about a month ago. I haven't even tried them. This is the one I bought when I bought this one, and this has been sitting in there for a couple months. And then I have all these sugar-free ones that I tried, a coconut, they're Russell Stovers, and it just sits in there. I never remember to even have any. I just don't. I just don't. I'm not a big candy eater. Once in a blue moon, I'll get a hankering for some chocolate after I have dinner, as a little treat. But yeah, no, I don't eat a whole lot of that. I just went through a phase, if you want to call it, where I was craving my chips and dip. The Hell of a Good French onion dip is like one of my favorites, and I went through a few days of having that at night instead of a piece of chocolate. So I don't eat a lot of that. Yeah, Chris can eat. Like, I took out bags of Reese's peanut butter cups that went on sale after one of the holidays over the summer. And I threw them in the freezer, and I bring a bag up and I put it right over there on that shelf, and it's gone in a minute because Chris sees it because he sits over there and he's constantly grabbing one. I haven't had any of those. So I figured I'd put one in the fridge on the door, and it was gone in a day. So I don't know. You're not going to win, Joe. At some point, you're just going to be like, whatever. I have learned not to argue. I have learned not to keep trying to get my point across. I have learned to just do me and us, because there was a point where when all this started and I was hearing all this stuff about you need to start stocking, the supply chain, all this stuff years ago, 2-3 years ago, I would go on Facebook and I would be trying to, put people, let them know this is what I'm learning from all these channels, and you need to go and start thinking about stocking extra of this and stuff. And I found out that nobody was commenting on those. They were always commenting on the memes I was sharing and things about, the family. Nobody would comment about that. And all the same people that were so full of rants and posts about the presidency and the debate and how Biden this and then he was going to be great and we need somebody better than Trump, they don't post nothing anymore. Nothing. I literally put on my Facebook the other day. So I said, so how many people have started really stocking things? Has your thought processes changed on things over the years now that you've seen what's going on? I still got no responses. A few, but nothing. My best friend that I had growing up, well into my 30s, well, I don't have room. My closets, my cupboards, everything is jam-packed. I don't have room. And I'm thinking, we've had that discussion before. You throw some bins up, put them in the corner, under your couches, behind your couches, under your beds. There's no reasoning with people when they don't want to talk about it, or they just feel like they can't. And I've pulled myself back away from a lot of those people because I was like that. My head was so far in the sand that I was living my life daily, going to work, coming home, raising kids. I didn't pay attention to what was going on around me in the world. I didn't. I'm the first to admit it. I was so ignorant. I never put the news on. I never watched anything that had to do with politicians. None of that. Never. I never put my mind out there. I was so busy living my life day to day and just existing that I never thought about these things. Even though my parents were gardening, canning, I never put my head in that kind of space. So she is my age. She saw all my posts. She saw all these things that I share about everything happening. I just stopped. Don't care. Don't come to my house. When I see half my family members that go away for vacations, that go on trips all the time, once or twice a year, that is money you could have been putting away. So don't come to me unless I offer it, but don't come to me. No, sorry. Nope. And I don't care if that's harsh. Same, Joe. I don't know who this Leah Audie is, but I'm thinking it's a troll. Can somebody hold on. I don't need that I don't need that. What's going on with my computer here? If you don't have something to contribute, me and Chris were talking about this the other day. If you don't have something to contribute, a skill or a way to help keep things going, then you can't come here. You can't take from us to the point we get so taken from that we can't survive. You just can't. And I'm not going to do that. You know, my sisters, it's different. My sister Sue, she's learning and she's been taking classes on herbs and salves and tinctures. So she's learning something. They did beekeeping. They do beekeeping at my dad. So she has skills. Her and my sisters, you know. But his brother, Chris's brother, he drained his mother. She inherited a house and so much money that when this all happened and she had to go down to Texas to take care of the estate and live there, she had so much money. Her mother was rich, made really good investments. And she told us when this all happened that she was putting like $65,000 away for Chris for his retirement. So about a couple months ago, we had talked to her when I heard about all this stuff happening. I said, see if we can get that. Because I knew she had been blowing money on trips to Colorado to get her stuff and handing out money to everybody. And he was bleeding her dry, his brother, because he lived with her. And I knew there would be nothing left. So I said to him a couple months ago, I said, call your mother and see if we could get that money so we could pay down our mortgage. And wouldn't you know it, she had nothing left. And she says, I feel awful. I was irresponsible. I don't have nothing for you. Nothing. The only thing she ever gave us was $5,000 when we bought this house as a present. So that's what I bought the pool with. That was 7 years ago. And when we needed a refrigerator, she gave us $1,500 for the refrigerator. That's all she's ever given us. Yet she The brother, he bled her dry. His sister bled her dry, stole from her and bled her dry. Oh, there was a lot more. She had four, from what she told us, 4 different accounts with hundreds of thousands of dollars in them. And she has property. She has a house that's paid off in El Paso. She had stocks, bonds. She had literally physical property in the desert, by the desert, like where shopping malls were, strips of land. And she drained everything. She drained all the accounts. She'd go on trips to Colorado to the weed places and go get tons of weed. And to say it was a slap in the face, because she was supporting the brother up here. And she was working. She lost her job over his brother, and he trashed her truck that she had paid for and had to go to the scrap yard. She was literally crying when it was on the flatbed trail. He drained her of everything to where she was going to be getting kicked out of her apartment. And then she inherited all that. They moved down to Texas, and he's been with her ever since because he has a drug problem. And he's bled her dry. She's back on just living off of her Social Security. He's had to go get like 2 or 3 jobs, and he doesn't keep them. It's awful. It's awful. And I feel so bad for Chris being on the outside, not being that. I mean, I know I'm part of the family, but I'm not. And watching over the years, everything, Chris always is put last when it came to that stuff, because the brother, who's older than Chris, he's my age, in his 50s, has ruined his own life so bad. And the mother just, it's her kid. That's her answer. Thank God I came around when I did, because Chris would be, I don't know. Yeah. Shadow. My sister, her husband broke his neck. I just got a picture of all the hardware they put in today. He was the one, they both worked. She was a teacher, and he worked, and he broke his neck going to work. A tree crushed his truck, and they got to wait for workers' comp or whatever. But she was just going to plan and pay for their vacations this year, and she didn't get to it before the accident happened. It's stuff like that. Luckily, she did not get to paying for those vacations, because now I'm sure they're not going to be doing the vacations because they got to keep the bills up. They're down in income. But I have other sisters that don't even care about it. They don't think about it. Unless they do, and I don't know about it. That could be. But no, when I see my younger sister, she just got asked to leave from my other sister she was living with because she's not contributing. She don't keep a job. And so she was asked to finally leave after a couple of years. And she's back with an old boyfriend that she was with for 15 years. And no, let him deal with it. I love my sister, but I'm not going to be supporting a 30-something-year-old that goes from job to job to job to job. No. I love them all, but I know my limits. Oh, geez, Joe, 40th time. I know, Be Charming. I'm not perfect. I can be a nag. I know that. But I'm grateful that he listens a little bit. I've learned a lot too. I've learned a lot over these years. Stuff that I refused to even think about for a long time. And I was one of those people that I was so ignorant. I didn't know because I didn't bother to learn. I didn't bother to watch what was going on around me. I didn't. Now that I've had the time to be home, I'm watching more. So I can't say that I'm Miss Know-It-All, because I'm not. But I've opened up, and I've let myself think outside the box. I've let myself entertain other ideas and think things differently and weigh everything, you know. I didn't just close my mind off and say, nope, can't do it. I can't stock. I can't do this. I can't do that. No. And I have to admit, I used to be very lazy when it came to that. I just wanted what was easy, to do what was easy. And I went and learned how to pressure can. I went and learned how to garden, which I hate gardening. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it like most people do. I don't. I don't. I don't like sitting there sweating my butt off. My brother-in-law and I got the coop home and 7 chicks. Take some pictures of the chickies. I'm getting hot. It says it's 50 outside. I got the heat on. I don't mess with the heat, but it's getting warm. Todd, you want to open up your window on the top? Yeah, Joe. See, my parents, very smart people. They've had gardens and pressure canned and he built his own sawmill and ran a successful logging business and sold lumber to build homes. He built houses with my granddad. I never paid attention. I never paid attention when they were canning all hours of the night after they harvested from the gardens. I never paid attention to it. I'm the first to admit I didn't want to be bothered. Then I had kids and I was just raising my kids and going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. I didn't put myself and pay attention. And my friend Holly, she was always up on everything in the news. And so I would just ignore everything. And so when all this first started coming out and I started posting things, she's like, wow, you never paid attention to this before. What changed your mind? Being home, learning how to preserve food, it just opens you up more and more in different directions till you're learning about gardening, and then it brings you to here. It brings you to here. And it's just brought me to watch what's going on around me now. That's how it happened. I can't wait to see your progress with all that. Moonlight, you're doing the stuff. How's Gus and Lloyd? Is it Lloyd and Gus? I haven't even been on here. I watch a handful of videos here and there a week of you guys, but I've been so busy doing stuff. I hope so, Han Solo. I hope so. I don't see it happening. I don't know. Because when this happened to my brother-in-law, she's like, I immediately called her. I'm like, what do you need? Do you need it? No, we stocked a bunch of things because believe it or not, I was reading what you were putting on Facebook and I did start stocking little things here and there. Yeah, so they were. Hey, Rob. So she started to, but I don't know what magnitude, you know. I doubt it's years worth of batteries and candles and things like that. I don't think so. So I don't know, but not my problem. You know, not my problem. I just want to get this house paid off. That's what I want. You know what's crazy is last year, middle of the year, I was going into my mortgage account and my home was valued, an estimated value at $350,000. I checked the other day, $245,000 it's now valued at. I was like, oh my God. Yep. That was something. That was eye-opening. We bought this house at $225,000. So it has gone way down. So I just want to get it paid off. It says, oh, you have $170,000 in equity. I'm like, that can stay right there. I'm not touching that. Nope, just paying the house off and that's it. I'm not taking out any loans. I'm not dealing with nothing. Now I'm just trying to focus on getting it paid off. Wow, it's getting hot in here. Should open a window or something. Last night, the night before last, I slept with the window open. It was like 25 degrees, but I was hot. I was hot flashing. So how are you guys? Well, I know I've been taking over this whole stream, but I advise you guys, you guys all prep, I'm hoping that, the weather kicks off soon where I can get out more and start working out there, but it's all frozen. Everything's frozen. I'm not going to keep turning the heat on and off. I don't want to do that. I just leave it, and I leave it at a certain temperature, and that's it. Because you keep messing with it, it just uses up more, it's not good to keep moving it up and down, because in a few hours it's going to get cold again. Can you get your property tax reassessed if it's in your favor? I don't have a clue, Han Solo. I don't know anything about any of that. I barely knew anything to buy the house. We just did it blindly. Right, Lori? Yeah. I did call to see if that she could do my hair, and she never answered me back. So I'm thinking, I don't know, her phone maybe. I see Pinball put out some more. I mean, not everything I agree with on all of these videos that I watch, but it opens up my mind to things I never thought about, and it opens my mind up to go in different directions. So I appreciate everybody that puts videos out, even though, one puts one out, the next one puts one out on the same subject, and all of my favorite people put it out on the same thing. There's always that one person that starts it off, and I hear about it somewhere, and it helps me. Yeah, I could get an appraiser, but I'm not going to bother right now. I just want to get the house paid off. If they are using your taxes and it's lower than they appraised it, can help. Appraisals cost a fortune here too. Go naked. Be charming. First garden is doing great. I am just guiding my niece and her husband on these new things. That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't have chickens here. I only have a half an acre, and I can't have them here. They're not zoned. My parents, we could, but my dad's still in charge of the land right now, even though it's in our names in a trust, but he's still there. It's still his. We would never tell him what he's doing. And it's all gardens now. It's all gardens. He's increased the gardens like exponentially. So he still controls everything, and he lives there. So there's nothing we could technically, no, I wouldn't do that to my dad. That's his life. When he's gone, then we'll step in and we'll do what we want to do with that. I feel like I got a cut right here. Wow, we've been on it for an hour and 43 minutes. Holy cow. But that's mainly the reason that I not been around much. Is because the times that everybody's doing their lives in the morning, that's my time where I've got the energy to do stuff. So I'm out there doing stuff. And I don't like to be out at night, so I got to get all my driving around done during the day. And if I want a home cooked meal, I have to get it all done so that I can cook dinner at a certain time and not be eating too late. So there's only a certain amount of hours in a day that I can do what I got to do. Today, I got her up and I went back to sleep because I just was dragging. And I slept from like 6:30 to about 10. I have buckets with taters and peppers. Cukes are doing good, but notice they have a little bit of yellow leaf change. That might be the reason. Yeah, I haven't started anything yet. I'm thinking another week or so, maybe next weekend, I'll finally get some plants started on the shelves. But we'll see, because I always start way too early and then I regret it. So I'm not. What the heck is MIRC? I don't know. I don't know who that John Geo is either. So hopefully, anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream now. But it was nice to have everybody here. I missed you all, and I'll try to do better. I just have a lot going on. I'm taking what everybody is saying to heed, and I'm trying to keep going with the preps and rotate out and really keep ourselves going here. What is MIRC?
Merc.
Phew, it went right over my head, people. Bye, everybody. It was so nice to see you. Have a good day. Till the next one.